Do you know this man? Of course you do. He is the suave, well-accented Farooq Abdullah. But did you know that he played a role in the Kashmiri Pandit exodus? Let me tell you how. Hi and welcome to TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Apurva, and in this video, I will talk about the role of Farooq Abdullah in the exodus and genocide of Kashmiri Pandits. So let's begin. Farooq Abdullah finds himself at the center of a flurry of controversies yet again. The National Conference patriarch, who has served as the chief minister of the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir, has much to answer for. The film The Kashmir Files has stirred a public debate in India about the brutal genocide of Kashmiri Hindus that took place in the late 1980s and peaked in 1990 and 91. Farooq Abdullah was the chief minister of Jammu and Kashmir until 18th January 1990. On 19th January of that year, an all-out program against Kashmiri Hindus was initiated. Farooq's son Omar Abdullah is agitated these days, mostly due to the uncomfortable truths shown in the film. Abdullah Jr. said, but the fact is that many lies have been projected in the film, and the biggest one is that it has been wrongly shown that there was an NC government. The fact is that it was governor's rule in 1990 in Jammu and Kashmir when Kashmiri Pandits left Kashmir. At the center, it was BJP-backed government headed by VP Singh. Omar Abdullah wants you to believe that the genocide of Kashmiri Hindus and minorities was sudden, that it had no precursors, that came as a surprise. That's a lie. The systemic targeting and killing of Kashmiri Hindus had been on before 1990 as well. The part of history, however, has never been told to Indians, which is why Islamists and their ringleaders are today so agitated. Why did Farooq Abdullah resign as the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir just a day before an all-out genocide was initiated against Kashmiri Hindus? Did he want to give the terrorists a free run? Did he not want to be at the helm of affairs when such a genocide began? Did Farooq Abdullah, despite knowing what was about to come, not take any action against Kashmiri Islamists? Here is an even more shocking detail about Farooq Abdullah's illustrious tenure as Chief Minister. According to Shesh Paul Vaid, who has served as a DGP in Jammu and Kashmir Police, the first batch of 70 terrorists trained by ISI was arrested by Jammu and Kashmir Police. However, it was Farooq Abdullah-led government who got these dreaded terrorists released, and they went on to brutalize Kashmiri Hindus and minorities almost immediately. Some of the terrorists who the former DGP mentioned include Muhammad Afzal Sheikh of Trehgam, Rafiq Ahmed Ahanggar, Muhammad Ayub Najar, Farooq Ahmed Ganai, Ghulam Muhammad Gujri, Farooq Ahmed Malik, Nazir Ahmed Sheikh and Ghulam Moinuddin Teli. Mr. Vaid asked, could this have been possible without the knowledge of the Union government of 1989? The BJP has fired a salvo at the Abdullah clan, pointing out that their complicity in the violence unleashed in Kashmir in the 1980s and 1990s. National in charge of the BJP Information and Technology Department Amit Malviya tweeted, which part of the Kashmir Files does Omar find untrue? The fact that Farooq Abdullah, his father, resigned as a CM on 18th January 1990, and as if on cue the genocide was unleashed on hapless Kashmiri Hindus starting 19 January 1990, that he ordered the release of 70 ISI-trained dreaded terrorists. Farooq Abdullah has also been accused of poll rigging by a very senior leader of the Modi government. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh on Thursday said that Kashmir's turning point was the rigged assembly elections of the 1987. The Union Minister in charge of the Prime Minister's office said, in order to ensure that Farooq Abdullah returned as Chief Minister with comfortable majority, the then state machinery has maneuvered to secure the defeat of Muslim United Front candidates, while the centre remained a mute spectator because of the Rajiv Farooq Accord and a tactical understanding between the National Conference and Congress. He added, soon thereafter, uproarious surges of discontent with slogans of Azadi began to be heard, and this discontent came handy to terrorist outfits like Jammu Kashmir Liberation Front, who began to put up threatening advertisements and terrorizing posters on the streets of the valley. Farooq Abdullah somehow seems to be a central figure in the exodus of Kashmiri Hindus out of their homeland. Yet he has escaped being held accountable so far. Now his deeds are being called into question, and the only way to get to the bottom of his role in the crisis of Kashmir is if a high-level investigation is launched against him and his party.